Flutter on our computer so that we can make Flutter applications. Now, this can sometimes be a bit of an arduous process, and it's going to be slightly different depending whether you're on Windows or on a Mac. So I've made two videos, one showing you how to install Flutter on Windows, which is this one, and then another one is showing you how to install Flutter on a Mac, which is going to be the next video. So feel free to skip to that next one if you're on a Mac. If you're on Windows, stick with this video right here. All right, so I'm on the Flutter docs, which you can find at docs.flutter.dev. And you want to click on this Getting Started link right here, then choose your operating system, which in this case is Windows, then click on Mobile as the type of application we want to make. Once you've done that, you're going to see a Getting Started guide that we can walk through and get up and running with. So the first thing we need to do is install Git on our computer, which is a software requirement. So just click on this link right here to download Git for Windows. You can download it by pressing this button right here. Once you've done that, just walk through the installation steps and accept all the default options. All right, so we also need to install Android Studio. That's also a requirement, but we're going to come back to that step later on. First of all, I want to scroll down and see how to install the Flutter SDK itself. And by the way, it mentions here about configuring a text editor for writing Flutter applications, and that if you're using VS Code to install the Flutter extension for VS Code. That was the extension that I mentioned in the first lesson. So if you've not already installed that, definitely make sure you do. But down here, where it says install the Flutter SDK, is what I want to look at now. So we've got a couple of options here. We can use VS Code to install, or we can just download it and install it manually, which is what we're going to do. So click on this. And then it says download the following installation bundle to get the latest stable release of the Flutter SDK. So you want to click on this to download it and just wait for that to download up here. And if we scroll down here, it's going to say create a folder where you can install Flutter and a few examples of where you should create your folder. Now we'll do that in a second, but another warning down here just says the path to where you install Flutter should not contain any special characters or spaces, or require elevated privileges. So just be wary of those two things. And it gives an example here that this fails both conditions because we have this space and it also requires elevated privileges, all right? So then what we need to do, once we've created a folder to install this Flutter Windows stable zip folder, I'm going to extract this and I want to choose a place to install Flutter. So I'm going to browse to do that. I'm going to go to the C drive over here. And I've already created this folder called dev right here. You don't have to create a folder called dev. You can call it what you want or place it where you want. Just remember, it shouldn't contain spaces and it shouldn't be in a folder that requires elevated privileges. So I'm going to go into this folder and this is where I want to install Flutter. So I'm going to select that folder, then click on extract inside our dev folder right here on the C drive. Awesome. Okay then, so now we have Flutter installed, but in order for us to run Flutter commands in a terminal within different locations on our computer, we need to add Flutter to the path variable. When we do this, it makes the Flutter command globally accessible on our computer and then we can start to use it wherever we need to. So to do this, click on your search icon to search your computer and then start typing in variables, and at some point you should get a suggestion called Edit the System Environment Variables. Click on that. And then in this window, click on Environment Variables. Then select the path variable and click Edit. Now, if you look at my paths I've already got here, you can see one of them whose value is C drive, then dev, then Flutter, then bin. So this is a path to the bin folder inside the Flutter folder we just added. And this is the path that you need to add if you installed Flutter in the same location as I did. If you installed it elsewhere, it needs to be a path to wherever you installed it, then in the bin folder within that location. So to add this path, just click on New and then type it in. Once you've done that, we can click on OK on all of these windows to close them all. And now we can move on to the next step of the setup, which is installing Android Studio. But just really quickly before we do that, if you close down any currently open terminals first of all, and then open